Hello and good morning. So I've seen a lot of stuff within the last 24 hours. My computer's having an absolute fit at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on there. Why has it gone full screen? Oh, I know why. There we go. Right, just going to move my microphone. Right, so I've seen a lot of talk regarding players and other bits and pieces in the last 24 hours. So, shooting over to the Manchester Evening News website, which is where we're going to start. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way to the top of the page. Let's have a little look. Right, so it's not really transfer related as such, but it is Ferguson praising the way Bayern Munich run their club and the way they recruit. And then we've got Matthias de Ligt, who has been quoted as saying, bear with me one moment while I open the page and get the official quote. I mean, United yesterday, on Friday it said that there was a deal was close. And then I think that was on Saturday, sorry, a deal was close, or Friday, one or the other. And then Sunday, it's saying that United aren't interested. Are they not? Are they? I mean, it would be stupid for them to say that they're not interested, but then again, what club is really going to come out and go, yes, we're going after that person, because what that does then is that creates a wage war, because someone else that is secretly working behind closed doors, working to get that person, is going to go, well, hang on, we want that person. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have a bidding war, which is the one thing, as a club, we don't want. So this is what he is quoted as saying. Where do I see myself? Well, obviously, the Premier League is a big competition. Spain also, de Ligt told ESPN. But you have other competitions, it's not just those two. I still don't know anything where my future is. So I'll see how it goes. First we have to play 2 games, and then after that we will see what happens. So he's not ruling out a deal to Barcelona. Personally, that's where I think he will go. Don't get me wrong, I would prefer he went to United, but I think he will go to Barcelona because it's a much more attractive club. I think that they will just get him. I mean, think of it like this, okay? Where does he want to go? To a club that's not got Champions League football. They got Europa League football. A team that didn't win the league last season and finished by their own standards quite poorly. That didn't win the FA Cup, didn't get to the semi-finals of the Champions League, didn't get the Capoeira Cup, not that that's of any importance, but won no silverware this season? Or would he rather go to a club that's X amount of points ahead of the person in position 2, so they've won the league, Barcelona? Do they want to get to someone that got to the semi-final? Okay, they lost to Liverpool, but got to the semi-final. Does he want to go to a club where, okay, there are other people in that team that are more experienced, that are older and more established players, whereas with United, he could just go straight in, boom, and become a first team player straight off the bat from the get-go. He will be a leader. There are bigger leaders within the Barcelona team. Piqué, Messi, Suarez. I don't like Suarez, but Suarez. So there's a lot of players within the Barcelona team that are more experienced, that are more leaders. But will the thrill of going into the Champions League next season with Barcelona be more to him than coming to United, being, let's say the paper boy, if you like, or the poster boy, sorry, of a rebuild? Now, realistically, United aren't going to be fighting for the title next season. As much as we'd all like United to win the league, it ain't going to happen. Not next season, anyway. So, the best that we can hope for is getting into the top 4. That's season 1, top 4. And hopefully trying to win the Europa League. It's a big ask, because even though the Europa League's not as prestigious as the Champions League, it is still a big European trophy to win. And if you win that, no matter, you could finish in the Championship, but as long as you win the Europa League, you are in the Champions League next season. That's how it works. Whereas with the Champions League, a few seasons ago, Liverpool, I think it was 2005, I believe, Liverpool won the Champions League but didn't qualify in the top four. But because they'd won the Champions League, they qualified automatically for Champions League football the season after. So, I mean, that's Champions League football. But what I'm saying is, with the Europa League, it's the same. If you win the Europa League, you are automatically given Champions League football, regardless of your position. So, realistically, we should be hoping for next season for top four and to win the Europa League. That should be our goals next season. Season number 2, we should then be fighting for the title. Season 2, under Solskjaer, we should be fighting for a title because we'll know more about any new players that we bring in this season. We will know how they play. He should then know 1, his formation, 2, his first team squad, and 3, his rotation players. They're the 3 things that Ollie should know by the end or this time next year. So they're the things that Ollie needs to focus on this season. We need a director of football, though, to take out the transfers away from Ollie so that he can focus solely on the playing side of the team, you know, the tactics, the training, and getting the players ready for the new season. The director of football then should come in and say, you know what, I will be the one that buys players, I will be the one that sells players, I will work closely with the scouts and the scouting network that we have established at this club. I will also bring in scouts for areas of the world where we don't necessarily have scouts to bring in other players, which is essentially what we need. I think we need young players with a scattering of older players, because it will be those older players with the experience that they have acquired over the years that will then help to nurture and pass that experience on to younger players like De Ligt. So that's why I think those are our aims for next season. Back to De Ligt. Now, even though it was quoted as United were not going for him, no one's really going to come out and say, I'm going for that place. It doesn't work like that. The problem is, and I've always said it, and now my dad, prime example, a few years ago it was written that when Ronaldo was still at Real Madrid, he was quoted apparently saying that he was coming home to United. Now, fast forward a few years, that didn't happen, as we know. But my dad's like, oh, he's coming to United, he's coming to United. I'm like, Dad, he's not. He won't come to United. He won't come back. Okay, he may come back in a few years, maybe a season or 2 down the line. He may well come back. He may. But then again, he may just finish his career at Juventus and, have done with it. Who knows? We don't know. He may even go to Sporting Lisbon and finish his career there, where it started. We just don't know. But he was like, oh, he's coming to United, he's coming to United. Now, this is the issue I have. A lot of people will pick up a newspaper, The Sun, the Daily Mirror, the Express, whatever it may be. We'll pick up a paper, look at the transfers and go, oh, De Ligt signing a contract for United in the next 48 hours. 48 hours later, nothing happens. And the reason for that is, these papers make up bullshit stories. Oh, Mr. Matt Modify has signed a 4-year contract with Manchester United as their player manager. It ain't going to happen, but they've got to sell their papers, so they make up bullshit stories to say, oh, this will happen, and then it doesn't. And then they just say, the deal fell through. Even though there was never a deal in place in the first place, they still try to be a credible story, a credible source, and they're not. They just need to sell papers. Same for Sky Sports. You go to the Sky Sports Transfer Centre. There's rubbish on there. They just want to get hits on their website, because that's how they get revenue, by getting hits on their site. So I wouldn't really believe. The only time you can believe it is when the player is standing there holding up the United shirt. That is when you should believe that player is signed. I hate listening to hearsay. Hearsay pisses me off. Oh, there's a thing from the charity game yesterday. I actually watched it. I had no intention of watching it, but I was about to jump on the PlayStation and I was checking YouTube and boom, it was there. So I ended up watching it. Apparently, Liverpool fans are in uproar because Memphis Depay has a picture here of him wearing a Cantona t-shirt or jersey. You know, I'm not even going to say, Liverpool fans are just delusional little bunch of people. Bless them. Bless them, bless them, bless them. Ancelotti has given an update on Koulibaly, saying that he will be at Napoli next season. A deal still could go through if United were to rock up to Napoli and say, boom, there's 150 million for his buyback, his buyout clause, then he'll be at United next season. Do I think we'll do that? No. Spending 150 million on one player, especially at his age, that's not good business. It's not good business at all. Sean Longgrass has been asked to snub United by Kevin Kilban. It's Kevin Kilban. I don't really rate the player, never have. There's a story here, if United were not to get Koulibaly, then we could go after Ruben Diaz of Benfica. He's 22 years of age. Apparently they rejected a £30 million deal from Lyon 12 months ago, but will cash in on him if they receive a offer of 60 million. So there's that. We have another here quote by De Ligt, and it says, "Of course a lot is being written. I think it has been like that all year long, and I'm not being fooled by it. I am not so worried that so many have been written. Frankie de Jong already knows he is going to a new club. Not me yet, that's it. It's not one club that is interested. No. Whether I have a dream club? No, I don't really have a dream club outside of Ajax. It was my dream to play at Ajax. I succeeded and I'm happy about that. I look at what I think is best for my career, where I can develop the best, where I can make the most playing minutes. On that, I base my choice. Now, with regards to that last piece about where he can develop best and get the most playing time, I think that would be United. Because, look at our back four. Who have we got? We've got Phil Jones, who... No, I think... As much as I like Phil Jones as a person, don't really like him as a player. I think he could... he's been at United for, 10 years now? 10, 11 years now? So I think that he could go on to another club, and maybe be a first-team player. I don't think that's at United. Then we've got Marcos Rojo, which again... As a person, I like him. I just don't feel that he's right at United. He's a bit like Vidic, Patrick Vieira, and Roy Keane, but in the worst way. They were quality players, and they held their positions well. They went in the crunch and tackles, but they were good all-round players in their respective areas. Whereas Marcos Rojo flies in the tackles, but he's not good in his respective area. I like him as a player. I don't rate him as I like him as a person. I don't want him as a player. So that's two players that should go from the back there. Ashley Young. I like Ashley Young. I rate Ashley Young highly. I know a lot of people hate on him, but I like Ashley Young and feel that he still has time at the club. That's my own personal opinion. You may disagree, you may agree, but that's my opinion. Then we've got Lindelof, who's quality. We've got Eric Bailly, who's quality. Do I think Eric Bailly is a first-team regular? No, I think he's a rotational player, personally. I don't think I could see Bailly and Lindelof as part of our back four for next season. I don't. I see Lindelof as Luke Shaw, potentially Dalot or Young on the right. Yes, I see that. But I don't see anyone in our current squad that would fit next to Lindelof. That's why we need a quality player like either Ruben Diaz, Matthias de Ligt, or even Koulibaly. 3 quality defenders there that we could potentially bring in. But why are we just looking at big clubs? Why don't United look at championship sides? And maybe go, that championship side's really good. They got a really good defender there. Why not even Harry Maguire or Toby Alderweireld? I know there was a lot of speculation last year about Toby Alderweireld. So why don't we go back after him or even Harry Maguire? I'd rather Harry Maguire to Toby Alderweireld, but that's just me. There was a game last season, and 3 out of the 4 players in our back four were English. You had Ashley Young, who's English. We had Chris Smalling, who's English. We have Luke Shaw, who's English. You take off Lindelof and whack Phil Jones in there, your back four's predominantly British, English. So there's, so that would be good for us. And Harry Maguire's a great, little defender. There's rumours on TalkSport where I think somebody phoned in and urged United to buy Antoine Griezmann from Atletico Madrid. Griezmann runs everywhere, is dynamic, he gets goals and is a finisher. He's exactly what United need. He would change the way they play. He wouldn't really change the way they play, that's down to the manager with the tactics, but he would be a good addition to the squad. He would be really, really good. Zidane doesn't want to leave, doesn't want Sergio Romero to leave. That's not important. There's something here about De Ligt. United stance on De Ligt transfer revealed. Manchester United still expect De Ligt to join Barcelona despite incessant speculation surrounding a possible move to Old Trafford. United sources have told Manchester Evening News they do not expect to sign De Ligt amid reports in Spain they are the frontrunners to buy the coveted central defender. The suspicion among the United hierarchy is the story that he is being framed for Barcelona. So, again, like I said in my video yesterday, just because you expect a player to go somewhere, that should never, ever, ever stop you from attempting to try to buy that player. Because if you come in with a better offer, where's that player going to go? It's like working in one job. Let's say, for instance, you're a businessman. Let's just say you're a businessman, you work in an office. And you're on, 30 grand a year, company car, company parking space, 28 days holiday a year. Good package. But then another company comes along and says, right, I will give you 40 grand a year, company car, company space, 28 days holiday a year. Are you going to stay faithful to are you going to go there, or are you going to go somewhere else? Or if another company comes along and says, right, I'll offer you 40,000 a year as well, you get a company car, parking space, 20 days holiday, where are you going to go? So, it's whoever comes up, I think, with a better deal, but United shouldn't back out of a deal just because they think someone else is going for that player. That's not how football transfers works. You don't go, oh no, they're going to go for him, so we should stop. No! Go for him as well. Stop being a pussy. I mean, if you watch my video, I said I do have a little bit of a rant about that, and I to me that just sounds stupid that any club should pull out of a deal just because another team's going for that player. No, you compete. That's like United, Barcelona. United don't even bother to turn up. Well, they're going to win anyway, so we may as well not be there. No, you fight for it. And that's what really, really does my head in. And did my head in, especially yesterday. Conte will sign a 3-year deal with Inter Milan. I really do hope so, because apparently he wants to buy Lukaku. So if he gets there, bye-bye Lukaku, and we can actually bring in someone that can actually do something a little bit better on the field. Sane, it's not really United news, but Sane apparently is being linked with Man City. I'm on Sky Sports News. De Ligt discusses future. Sky sources understand United have withdrawn their interest in De Ligt, leaving Barcelona seemingly as the frontrunners. Of course, there is some interest from other clubs, but I don't want to say any names. Where do I see myself? Premier League is a big competition, Spain also, but there are other competitions. Again, if it's true and United have backed out of that deal, I think that would be very, very silly. Just because Barcelona are going for him, I think that would be very foolish of them. But if we are in for the deal and we don't get him, United have kind of covered their back by saying that they're not going for him, even if they have or are trying to. So they've kind of covered their back that way. If he does go to Barcelona, which is looking likely. I mean, I'd like him to come to United. I would, like every other United fan would like him to come to United. He's a quality player and a quality leader. But if we don't get him and he does go to Barcelona, United will say, well, we didn't go for him. We pulled out of the deal, even if they didn't. We don't know what goes behind closed doors. I mean, the rumour mill is. I mean, if you look at rumours, there's always apparently a source, whether it be Sky Sports News, ESPN, beIN Sport, The Guardian, The Express, The Mirror, The Sun. You know, there's always going to be a source. But the problem with that source is that they're all trying to sell either a newspaper or they're all trying to get a hit on a website. Because if the Sky Sports say, right, just in, De Ligt signs for United, everyone's going to go straight to that. Everyone's going to go straight to that website, boom, to read that story first. But if a paper comes out and says, oh, well, De Ligt has signed for United, everyone's going to run to that paper and pick it up because they want to hear the story. That's how stories work. You know, that's how news works. You don't write, well, nothing really's happening in the world of transfers, but buy our paper anyway, and we'll have a big banner on the front, transfer news, and nothing. It'll just be blank pages underneath it. No one's going to buy that, because that doesn't sell papers. And it doesn't get hits on a website. I mean, it would be easy enough to write transfer news and have nothing there because you've got no source. Because whatever you're writing is untrue. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are certain aspects of transfer news that is true. But it's where it's kind of like deal done, but it hasn't been confirmed that a deal's done. A bit like De Ligt to Barcelona. I mean, I think everyone really knows that he's going to go to Barcelona. It's not been confirmed. It's not deal done. It's not a done deal. But I think that he will go to Barcelona. Personally, I think United would be a better choice for him. I think that he won't get as much playing time there because, let's be honest, Barcelona have already got an established team, an established back four. It would take him probably a few seasons to get in the team. I mean, look at Felipe Coutinho. He first went there and he wasn't getting in the team. He wasn't playing well. And then he started. His performances started to pick up, and then he started to get into the team. But I don't think he's a first team player, not yet. Anyway, I don't watch La Liga, so I can't speculate. I mean, if he is now a first team player and playing every game, then by all means drop a comment in the comment section below. I mean, I don't watch La Liga, so I wouldn't know. So I can only tell you on what I've read. Jerome Boateng has been told to leave Bayern Munich. Now we were rumoured to sign him. I think it was last season. So there's that as well. I'm just having a little look. James Rodriguez, James Rodriguez has been linked with United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and his parent club, going back to his parent club, Real Madrid. We've been linked with him. Apparently, our Memphis Depay. There's been a slight rumour that he's going to Liverpool. Apparently, Liverpool have said that they don't want him. Let's have a look. And that's it. I mean, it's actually quite quiet today regarding United transfer news. There's nothing that really jumps off the page. But I think United would be very silly not to go for De Ligt. Even if Barcelona are trying to get him, you should still try and get him as well. So there's that. So United shouldn't be too silly about it. They should just go straight to him and get him. If not, then go for Koulibaly. Try and get Partey for our midfield. I did see somewhere about our midfield that really pissed me off. That United won't buy a midfielder until they find out what Pogba's doing. Now, I'm sorry, but that just puts the ball in Pogba's court, and he's going to take as long as possible to come back and say, oh, I'll stay. Oh, we now don't have time to buy a midfielder. Oh, fuck Pogba. Fuck him. Do what's best for the team. Pogba's a leech on the team. I'm sorry, he just is a bad influence. When he plays bad, everyone plays bad. When he plays well, the team plays well. He's a leech, he's like the Mourinho, but in player form. He's a leech on the team. I'm not saying that he doesn't have quality, because he does have quality and he can play really well, but he's inconsistent. Like I said yesterday, he's a bit like Nani. I rated Nani highly. I love Nani. He was a great football player. He's got great on both feet. Could shoot from anywhere and score. He was amazing, but he wasn't consistent. He'd have one great game and people were like, "Oh my God, he's the new Ronaldo," and then the next 5 or 6 game, he's shit. Doesn't do anything. And then he'd have another good game, or another 2 good games. Oh, he's the new Ronaldo, and then goes back to being crap again. He's a bit like Martial. Scores like 2 goals. Oh, he's amazing. We all love him. And then the next 4 games, he doesn't do anything at all. You know, gives the ball away, puts it out of play. You know, and just can't string a pass together. You know, inconsistency. So for me, Pogba's inconsistent. He'll have one great game, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, he's amazing." You know, we're now seeing what he was like at Juve, and then the next 5 games, utter garbage. And everyone's like, "Oh, he's rubbish." Da 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 da. United need to make a decision. Do they keep him or do they sell him? If they sell him, then we need to bring in another big name. We need at least one big name in our team. We don't have a big name in our team. We really don't. Other than De Gea, we don't have another big name in our team. If you look through our team, the only big name player we have is Pogba and De Gea. If we discount De Gea because he's not an outfield player, we don't have another big name other than Pogba. So we need to get, if we're going to sell Pogba, get rid of him. I wouldn't say Lukaku's a big name. I would say that Paul Pogba's a bigger name than Lukaku. I mean, yes, Lukaku has more letters in his name, but Pogba is just a bigger player all round. He's known all over the world. He's won the World Cup, which if you're a player and you win the World Cup, your name skyrockets, and then you get played all around the world. So I think Pogba is a big name player. If we do sell him, then we need to bring in another big name player in the middle of the park. I mean, what we're missing. I mean, watching the game yesterday, the charity game, Paul Scholes was amazing. He's 40 odd now, and he was amazing. David Beckham played a full 90 minutes, got a goal, and was absolutely incredible. I looked at the player ratings on the Manchester Evening News. He was the only player on the United side that got 10 out of 10. He was incredible. If you get a chance to watch the highlights of the game, go and watch them. It was like watching United of old. The whole team was great. Andy Cole started, came off a minute in, not through injury, but because of his health. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came on. 3 minutes later of him coming on, he scored the first goal to make it 1-0. We won 5-0. It was a great game of football. I really enjoyed it. It was nice to sit and watch a United team that played for the shirt, not for themselves. That's the issue with United at the minute, though. They play for themselves, not the badge. So it was actually nice to see that. But it was a good game. It was exciting. It made current